Hi all! I just finished filming a makeup tutorial slash get ready with me on this look that I'm wearing right now. And I figured since I was already kind of in the swing of filming and I had my makeup done and my hair's like kind of doing something, that I would just film another video for you guys. So this video is going to be a review of all of the palettes that I have and my opinion on them and my favorites and different things like that. So this video is all about eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so my first one is the first palette that I ever got, and this is the Naked palette by Urban Decay. You can see that this one is very much loved. And this palette I think is fantastic. I was telling someone in the comments on one of my last videos said that they were trying to decide between getting the Naked 1 or the Naked 2 palette, and I suggest that if you are either new to makeup or you're really into very neutral, simple looks, or if you're younger, or if you just lean towards those very warm, very simple, everyday looks, then the Naked 1 palette is the one that I would suggest for you. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 12 shades. 2 of them are matte, and the rest are shimmer, which some people, it bothers them, but I feel like with these colors it's great. I think this is all around an awesome palette, and if you are new to makeup and whatever, then this is perfect. My favorite shades, my favorite way to wear this is I like to wear Sin on the lid with Toasted in the crease and Hustle in the outer corner for a more pinky look. Or I will wear Half Baked with Smog in the crease and Dark Horse in the outer corner. Or I will wear Sidecar with Naked in the crease and Buck in the crease and outer corner with a little bit of Dark Horse if necessary. And then I'll just use Virgin to highlight on everything. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic palette. There are great colors and there are a million different looks that you can do, and I highly recommend this one. And then the next palette that I have is the Lorac Unzipped palette. I think I got this for my birthday from one of my friends. This is also a fantastic palette. What I love about this palette is the eyeshadows are all big, and what I like is they have eyeshadows that correspond to each other a lot. Like Unbelievable is like, Unreal is a lighter pink that I'll wear all over my lid, and then Unbelievable is a little bit darker that I will wear like in my outer corner. And then here, like Unattainable is like a light shimmery brown, and then Uncensored is a darker brown that you would wear in your crease in your outer lid. So this has 3, 4 matte shades and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmers. So this has 10 colors, and I think that this is also just an amazing go-to palette. It's very simple but very nice. I went through a period where I wore this every single day, and I've used this so much, and you can still see how much I have left. This palette will last you forever. It comes with a nice little mirror. Yeah, honestly, I have nothing bad to say about this palette. It is a just all-around good palette, and I recommend it. And then I have the Lorac Pro palette. Now this palette really isn't my favorite, and I know a lot of people love it, but it's just really not my favorite. I feel like it leans more toward cool tones, which is not something I lean towards. So it looks like this. So it has a bunch of different eyeshadows, and the whole top row is matte and the whole bottom row is shimmers. And it has a bunch of different eyeshadows, but the squares are kind of small. Honestly, it's a good palette. It has good colors, and you can make good looks with it. But the other two are so much better, and I think the other two are, like, even the Lorac Unzipped, even though they're by the same company, I think the pigmentation is a lot better than this one. And I don't know, like, I like the matte shades. I like the cream. When I was working at Hollister, you aren't really allowed to wear makeup, or very subtle. So I would wear cream all over my lid, and then I would wear taupe in my crease and under my lash line. And I wore that a lot, and I'll use Sable and Espresso and taupe when I'm doing like a brown look. Like, I definitely pull colors from this, but as a whole, it's really not my favorite look. I don't know, it was just kind of disappointing because I'd heard so much about it, and I just was not a fan. For me personally, it just wasn't as good as the other ones. And then the next one that I have is the Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay, and I love this one as well. Honestly, I reach for this now more than I do the Naked 1, but it is more kind of, it's different. Like you saw, I like using Chopper, Half-Baked, YDK a lot. I like doing a silver look with Verve, Pistol. I like Snakebite, Suspect. Half-Baked is in both the Naked 1 and the Naked 2. It's the only crossover, and it's amazing. Booty Calls, it's just a very pretty champagne. Tease, Blackout, Bust. Every single one of these colors is great, and I use them all, and I really, really do like this palette, and I actually think I do like it more than the Naked 1. I like the packaging a lot more. It's a lot more solid, and it just is sturdier, and it's better for traveling, and it doesn't wear out as much. But I think this is harder. The looks that you make with it are less common sense. So if you aren't as experienced with makeup, or if you don't really like to think as much about your makeup when you're doing it every day, you just like to do it, have it look nice and go and not really have to worry about it, then Naked 1 is for you. But if you like making more complicated looks and you're willing to put in the time to make a look that works and blends together and like think about all of that, then the Naked 2 is definitely the way to go. Okay, so the next palettes are palettes that I put together. So this is a Z palette, and in this I have my top 2 rows are Makeup Geek neutral eyeshadows, and my bottom 2 rows are Morphe brushes, neutral eyeshadows, and I love this. Honestly, I love Makeup Geek and Morphe eyeshadows equally. I think they are equally as good. I wouldn't pick between the two. I think honestly, I think Morphe brushes is slightly more pigmented, but sometimes that is not always as great when I'm trying to do more subtle looks because they are so bold. So I love both of them equally, but Morphe brushes, their eyeshadows are $2, and Makeup Geek, they're $6. So there is a price difference, but they're both very, very cheap for the quality that they are. But yeah, so that is how I feel about those two. This is a palette that I reach for every single day. I will use something, whether it's just a transition shade or just making a whole eye look. One of my favorite things to do is use either this copper shade or this one. This is Goddess, I think. Yeah, so this is Goddess, and this one is not coming off, and they're just numbers. So it's Goddess, and then the equivalent in Morphe brushes, and they're just coppery, beautiful colors, and I will do that all over the lid, and then I will take a gold color. So in Makeup Geek it's Glamorous, or in this one it is this rusty gold color, and I will put that in the center of my lid, and then I will blend them out with Cocoa Bear, or with any of these matte browns. This is more pinky matte brown, this is a more green matte brown, that's a regular lighter matte brown, and that is a very light matte brown cream shade. So I love all of these. When I travel, this is what I take because you can never want anything more. And then I have one Makeup Geek blush in here. I think this is called Hanky Panky. Yeah, so it looks like a very, very bright pink in the pan, but when you apply it with a natural haired brush with a very light hand, it gives you a very natural, very feminine, sweet, soft flush of color that I love. And then I have, this is the palette that I got when I bought all of my Morphe eyeshadows. Has this huge mirror. And then these are all, I'm like blinding. And then these are all of the eyeshadows that I have. These 3 are blank, but when I bought all of the eyeshadows, they were all in here. And then I put all the neutral ones in my Z palette, and I pulled out my brighter Makeup Geek eyeshadows and my bright Morphe eyeshadows, and I put them all in here. So this is something that I reach for when I'm looking for something a little more fun than my average everyday look. And I have this green color is absolutely gorgeous. It is my favorite green of all time, and I'm like really not a green eyeshadow person, but it is gorgeous. This is a Morphe eyeshadow, and it is so pigmented and beautiful, and I like to use this with a gold in the center of my lid and then just like blend everything, so it's like a green gold. It's lovely. This purple shade is a Morphe brushes, and it is insanely pigmented as well. I have Razzle Dazzler. No, Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzler is MAC. Razzle Dazzle is the Makeup Geek. I have, I think it's Nautica. What's it called? Mango Tango, and Burlesque, and Sensual, and Chickadee, which I use more often. And yeah, these are just my more colorful eyeshadows that I definitely do reach for, just not on a more typical basis, obviously, because they are bright. And my most recent palette, which is something I'm so in love with, and it's like kind of not a palette, but it is. And it is the Makeup Forever. They having their artist eyeshadows. They have these little palettes, like they come in 1, 2, or 3. And when you get a palette of 3, you get $20 off. So it ends up you get the 3 eyeshadows and the palette for, I think it's $44, which is still very expensive, but honestly the quality of these is amazing. They blend out like a dream. I have 3 of them. I have a blog post on them, and which is where I list what shades I have, what the numbers are, and what on the back of them they only say the number, but online they have a name for them on Sephora.com. So I will link that blog post down below so you guys can look at these. These are my absolute favorite. I plan on getting more at some point. They're gorgeous. They are the best eyeshadows I've ever tried, hands down, no questions asked. So yeah, that is all of the palettes that I have. I think my favorite palette right now is this one, just because I'm like so like in love with it, but my favorite palette is my Z palette because I have all of these amazing shades in it and it's just fantastic. And yeah, so I highly suggest if you get either MAC eyeshadows, Morphe brushes eyeshadows, or Makeup Geek eyeshadows, putting them in a Z palette because it makes it so much easier to travel with, and then you can mix and match all of the different brands and just put your favorites together. So yeah, so those are all of my makeup palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and share and give me comments on different other videos that you would like to see, favorites videos, or my blushes, or my lip collection, or different things like that that would be interesting for you guys to see. So yeah, just let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!